What if I told you there's a tiny fee, just 1%, that could steal over $100,000 from your retirement? Most people have no idea this is happening to their 401ks and IRAs right now. And it's completely legal. You work hard, you save diligently, you're doing everything right. But behind the scenes, fees are quietly eating away at your future. And by the time you retire, that 1% could have cost you more than a house. The average 401k charges between 0.8% and 1.5% in fees. And studies show that nearly 70% of people have no idea what they're paying. That's a problem because those fees add up to life-changing money over decades. But here's the good news. Once you know about these fees, you can do something about it. You don't have to be a victim. You can save yourself thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly where these fees hide, how they steal your money, and most importantly, how to stop them. By the end, you'll know how to keep that $100,000 in your pocket. So if you're ready to stop letting fees steal your future, stick with me. Let's find that 1% and take back your money. Let's get started. Let's do the math so you can see the real impact of fees. Imagine you have $100,000 invested for retirement. You never add another penny. It just sits there and grows. Let's say you earn a 7% average annual return. That's a reasonable expectation for a balanced portfolio. After 30 years, that $100,000 would grow to about $761,000. That's pretty good. Now let's add a 1% fee. That's the average many people pay in their 401ks without even knowing it. That 1% doesn't sound like much, right? After 30 years with that 1% fee, your $100,000 only grows to about $567,000. That's $194,000 less, almost $200,000 gone to fees. That 1% fee ate up 25% of your total returns, a quarter of your retirement savings, just gone. And you didn't even feel it happening. Now let's compare that to a low-cost index fund like VOO, which has an expense ratio of just 0.03%. That's $3 per year for every $10,000 invested. With a 0.03% fee, that $100,000 grows to about $741,000 after 30 years. That's only $20,000 less than the no-fee scenario. You keep almost all your gains. The difference between 1% and 0.03% is $174,000. That's a down payment on a house. That's years of retirement income. That's a lifetime of vacations, all from a tiny fee you probably didn't know you were paying. So where do these fees hide? They're not always obvious. You won't get a bill in the mail. They're quietly taken from your account. Let me show you the 4 main places fees hide. First, your 401k plan. Most 401ks have multiple layers of fees: administration fees, record-keeping fees, and investment management fees. Combined, they often total 1% or more. Second, mutual funds. Some funds charge front-end loads. That's a fee you pay when you buy. Some charge back-end loads when you sell. And all funds charge an expense ratio, which is the annual fee. Actively managed funds, where a manager tries to beat the market, charge much higher fees, often 1% or more. Index funds, which simply track the market, charge much less, sometimes as low as 0.03%. Third, FFA. Exchange-traded funds are similar to index funds, but traded like stocks. They also have expense rate. The good news: many popular ETFs have fees under 0.10%. Fourth, financial advisors. Many advisors charge a percentage of your assets under management, often 1% or more. That's on top of all the other fees, so your total fees could be 2% or higher. Here's the scary part. Fees stack. Your 401k charges 1%, your mutual funds charge another 0.5%, your advisor charges 1%, Suddenly you're paying 2.5% a year. That can eat over 50% of your returns over time. With 2.5% fees, that $100,000 grows to only $400,000 after 30 years. With 0.10% fees, it grows to $730,000. That's $330,000 difference, almost $500,000. How do you find these fees? Look for the fee disclosure in your 401k documents. Look for expense ratio on mutual fund and ETF fact sheets. Ask your advisor exactly what you're paying. The bottom line: fees are everywhere, but they don't have to be. Once you know where to look, you can find them. And once you find them, you can reduce them. That's the first step to keeping your money. You've heard me say, expense ratio. What exactly is it, and why does it matter? Let me explain it in the simplest way possible. An expense ratio is the annual fee you pay to own a mutual fund or ETF. It's expressed as a percentage. If a fund has a 1% expense ratio, you pay $10 for every $1,000 invested each year. Here's what that looks like. If you have $10,000 in a fund with a 1% expense ratio, you pay $100 a year. In a fund with 0.03%, you pay just $3 a year. That's $97 more in your pocket. But here's the sneaky part. That 1% fee compounds against you. You're not just losing the fee, you're losing all the growth that fee would have generated over time. Low-cost funds like View, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, have expense ratios as low as 0.03%. That's $3 per $10,000 invested per year. Basically, nothing. Some actively managed mutual funds have expense ratios of 1.2% or higher. That's $120 per $10,000 per year, and they rarely outperform the low-cost index funds. The kicker: most high-cost funds don't even perform better. Studies show that over long periods, low-cost index funds outperform the majority of actively managed funds. So here's what you need to remember. Expense ratio is the annual fee. Lower is always better. And the difference between 1% and 0.03% can cost you over $170,000 over a lifetime. That's why expense ratios matter. Now let's talk about how to actually reduce your fees. It's not complicated, and the tools are available to everyone. Here's your action plan. First, consider Vanguard. They were founded by John Bogle, the father of index investing. Their philosophy is simple: keep costs low. Their average expense ratio is 0.09%. Fidelity has gone even further. They offer zero expense ratio index funds. Yes, zero. Funds like FCROX have no expense ratio at all. That's as low as it gets. Schwab also offers a wide range of low-cost ETFs and index funds. Their S&P 500 index fund has an expense ratio of just 0.02%. All three are excellent choices. What funds should you buy? In your brokerage account, choose low-cost index funds or VOO for the S&P 500, VTI for total U.S. market, VT for total world market. All have expense ratios under 0.10%. In your 401k, look for index funds. Most plans offer at least one S&P 500 index fund. They'll have much lower fees than actively managed funds. If you use a financial advisor, ask about fees. If they charge 1% or more, consider low-cost alternatives. Robo-advisors like Betterment or Wealthfront charge around 0.25% and do the same portfolio management. The bottom line? You have options. You don't have to pay high fees. You can build a low-cost portfolio with just a few index funds. And you can do it in less than an hour. That's an hour well spent to save yourself thousands. Let me share 3 common mistakes that make people pay more fees than they should. Avoid these, and you'll keep more money in your pocket. Mistake number 1: automatically choosing actively managed funds. Many people think higher fees mean better performance. They don't. Most actively managed funds underperform their benchmarks over time. Mistake number 2. Not checking your 401k fees. Your plan is required to provide a fee disclosure. It's often buried in documents you ignore. Find it, read it, know what you're paying. Mistake number 3, paying a financial advisor 1% without understanding what you're getting. If they're just picking funds and not providing comprehensive planning, you might be overpaying. Remember the math. If you have $100,000, paying 1% to an advisor plus 1% in fund fees costs you $2,000 a year. A DIY portfolio of index funds might cost $100 a year. That's $1,900 more in your pocket. If you work with an advisor, ask the hard questions. What are your fees? Are you do you charge commissions or a percentage? The right advisor is worth paying for, but you need to know what you're paying. A good advisor might charge a flat fee, like $2,000 a year, for comprehensive planning. They'll recommend low-cost funds. They'll save you money. That's value worth paying for. Avoid these 3 mistakes. Check your fees. Choose low-cost index funds. Know what you're paying advisors. These simple steps can save you thousands, even hundreds of thousands, over your lifetime. Now, let's put it all together. Here's your 3-step action plan to stop fees from stealing your retirement. Step 1. Check your fees. Log into your 401k and find the fee disclosure. Look at your mutual fund fact sheets and find the expense ratio. Ask your advisor for a clear breakdown of fees. Step 2. Reduce your fees. In your 401k, switch to the lowest cost index funds available. In your IRA, sell high fee funds and buy low cost ETFs like VO or V. Step 3. Consider rolling over old 401k. If you have a 401k from a previous job with high fees, roll it over to an IRA at Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. You'll get access to lower cost funds. Let me give you an example. Meet Sarah. She had $100,000 in a 401k with 1.2% fees. She switched to a low-cost IRA with 0.05% fees. Over 30 years, that decision saves her over $200,000. Your turn. Check your fees this week. Make at least one change this month. Review your fees annually. It doesn't have to happen all at once. Just start. Small steps lead to big savings. Let's quickly recap. A 1% fee can steal over $174,000 from your retirement. Fees hide in your 401k, mutual funds, and advisor fees. But you have the power to stop them. Low-cost index funds, checking your 401k options, and asking the right questions can save you thousands. Every dollar saved in fees is a dollar working for your future. You don't have to accept high fees. You don't have to let them steal your retirement. You have the knowledge now. You have the tools. You can take action. So here's your homework. This week, log into your 401k, find the fee disclosure. Look at your fund expense rate. Make one change to reduce fees. You'll be glad you did. If this video helped you understand retirement fees, please hit that like button. Subscribe to Money Mint for more simple money tips. Next time, we're talking about the best credit cards for beginners. You won't want to miss it. I'm Mr. Mint, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember, every dollar you save in fees is a dollar invested in your future. Your future self will thank you.